Hey folks, Colin here from Sumthins Recording, and today I'm going to show you how to get more click on your kick drum. We're going to be talking about kick drums today, but before we dive in, if you're ready to go a little bit deeper into the mixing process and start to really hone your workflow, then I have just the thing for you. It is my 7-step mixing checklist. It's a simple PDF that will guide you through the entire mixing process, step by step, to help you get professional and radio-ready mixes without the hassle and without any more of the guesswork. It is completely free, and you can download it below using the link in the video description. Now let's jump in here and take a look at this kick drum. This is actually something I just happened upon this morning while I'm building out this track. So I have a couple drums here that I'm going to show you. I have the kick and the snare going. I started building out the rest of the instruments for the track. We're not going to mess with those today. I just want to show you the kick and the snare, and we're going to talk about adding a little bit more click to your kick drum in an interesting sort of way. So let me play you what the kick and snare are sounding like at the moment. This is an unmixed track, barely finished recording. So let me show you just our kick and snare here. Take a listen to what we got. So kind of electronic sort of elements here. Our kick is pretty compressed to make it really tight like that, but we're still preserving some of the low end with an EQ boost afterwards. You can kind of see what we're doing here. This is usually the input recording, EQ and compression that goes on kicks, but I left it on for this even electronic sort of kick here. So no EQ going on, just running through this API here, and then a little bit of compression on afterwards with this 160 style compressor. What we're doing here, though, is we're adding a click track to get a little bit more click, a little bit more of that mid-range thwack out of our kick drum sound here. So I'm going to add the click in, and then I'm going to show you how we built this out here. So here's our kick, and then I'm going to click on this click track, and you can hear that kind of mid-range thwack that we're getting here. So it's a little bit higher than I would probably have it in the mix. I could probably tuck it down a little bit to be a little bit more subtle, but I wanted to have it up a little bit higher so you guys could hear it. Let me show you how we're doing this here. And so in Studio One, one of the cool features here is you can actually go in and render your click track. So I'm using the clav click here. That's the style of click I have. That's the one I like that I usually use when I do put up a click track, but it has a lot of nice mid-range to it as it's going through. So you can actually come up here, click render. We can render it start to finish, that's fine. And it will bounce out the click track and give you one here at the bottom. So take a listen to what this sounds like. So that's kind of the envelope that we want for the click on our kick drum, that kind of mid-range sound that you want, especially in a denser track like this, so your kick drum can cut through and be powerful. So let's pull this click track up here next to our kick drum, and we're just going to use just the piece here with our kick drum loop. So now we have it set in loop here. It actually has a nice amount of attack as well as the mid-range that we're going to add to our kick drum here. Let's pull it down, and we'll start with just our kick drum here. So I'll mute our snare, so you'll actually hear our clicks in between, because I left it in because it adds some nice attack to our snare drum as well. It's a little bit more subtle than what it adds to our kick drum, but it's kind of nice. So I left it there on the snare beats as well. We're just going to pull up this click track here now till we're getting that nice boost in the mid-range that we want on our kick drum to get that extra click and to get that mid-range thwack that's going to make our kick drum big and beefy in this mix here. Let me pull this back down. We'll add it into our kick drum. Right there at 24 is where I'm liking it. At 25, it wasn't quite giving me enough of that mid-range attack sound. Um, right here at 24, it's enough of the mid-range sound that it's giving me what I want, but it's not so much that you hear, like, is there a click track going? Did someone forget to turn off the click track before they bounced out this mix? It's just a nice boost of mid-range to add into our kick drum to make sure it's full range so it can compete against a denser mix or a denser track with a lot of virtual instruments going on. Let's throw our snare back in and we'll A-B it one more time. You can hear what it also adds to our snare drum. It's just enough to fill in that missing spot in the frequency range of this kick drum, so it's not so scooped sounding in the upper mids, in the mid-range area. It has this nice attack piece that we can sit right in that spot to make our kick drum full range, to make sure the attack is full range, and not just on the top end or not just on the bottom end, of course, where our power is from this really low kick drum in this track. Again, I left it in on the offbeats there to add into the snare drum. So whether or not you want it on your snare drum is up to you. You can always cut it out for your snare drum if you want. It's a short little sound, so you can always just paste it in on your ones and threes for your kick drum. Just ease it up to give yourself a little bit of extra mid-range. Another thing you can always throw in if you have like a woodblock sample, or even if you wanted a short little mid-range piece of a snare drum, you could tuck a little mid-range snare drum sound, kind of like a side snare or something, under your kick drum. Just something to get a little bit of mid-range to make sure your kick has that attack in that mid-range, not just up on the top end, not just on the bottom end. You want something in the mid-range so your frequency is full range and it can be competitive in a denser track with a lot of virtual instruments like this. Quick one here today, but I hope that was helpful for you. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you're ready to take your mixes to the next level and really start dialing in your workflow as an engineer, then I have just the tool for you. It is my 7-step mixing checklist, and it is completely free, and you can download it below to start creating more professional mixes in less time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.